Whilst these games have somewhat gone out of favour over recent years, I still very much enjoy an Olympic Games styled game. Whether that's joystick waggling, button mashing, breaking your controller, or your fingers probably in the pursuit of a gold medal, I find these good old arcade multiplayer fun. There doesn't seem to be one coming out this year though, at least not one that I've discovered yet, and so I went back to December 14th, 2024, when someone in their right mind thought it was good to release Smoots Summer Games too. I'm not quite sure what happened with that release schedule, but there we go. It was on sale, so I picked it up, and I've not played the original, but all of the events from the original carry through to the sequel. In this game, you've got track and field from 100 metre and 400 metre running, then 110 and 400 metre hurdles. You've got javelin and hammer throw, high jump, long jump and pole vault, and then for swimming you've got breaststroke and backstroke. And then the new events are kind of away from the track and field. So you've got cycling, which plays very similarly to the running, to be fair. Archery, good fun for the aim and shoot. Weightlifting is button mash galore hell. And then equestrian jumping reminds me very much, having just played the Accolade Summer and Winter Challenge games, where you're trying to go through a 3D environment, but the 3D doesn't quite visually line up properly. So expect to smash your horses through all kinds of jumps with that. You've then got skeet shooting, similar to archery, canoeing, which is another button mash to a degree, with some taking on the swimming controls, where you use the analog sticks to kind of do left stroke, right stroke with your arms. And then after that, you've got climbing, which is a almost like fastest finger first rhythm game to try and press the button as quick as possible. All of these combine to create a selection of events that make me think, A, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because so much of this is button mashing or pressing and holding a button to release it so that you can be as close to 45 degrees in an angle as possible. But the second thing is that Smoots Summer Games 2 is absolutely full of input lag. And what this means is that you have to visually take your fingers off when you're trying to get to 45 degrees way earlier than you think it should, so that you can then have the game go, you're at 45 degrees. And it takes a while to tune your mind into it, but you can almost play around the input lag for quite a lot of these games. Where that doesn't work quite so well, and where it didn't quite align for me, was with the equestrian jumping, for example, because you're going for a 3D environment, and some of the other like pole vaulting and high jump style games where I was struggling a wee bit. The other thing I want to point out is that this AI in this game are ridiculously unbalanced. In some levels, they are really, really basic and very easy to beat. And when it comes to like canoeing, for example, they just speed off into the distance, and I can never win that one at all. And that's interesting because in this game you have various different modes. So you can do practice and you can do like a championship, which essentially is like an Olympics. But then there are special challenges and battle royales. And in battle royale, whoever's in last place for after each round gets eliminated. And so you just have to hope and pray that you don't come last in some of those ones where the AI are ridiculously overpowered, because it just feels like they're playing a totally different game to you, and that feels odd and strange. The Smoots series has always had a lo-fi cartoon style graphic. I think it's very stylized, and although it's not my personal favourite, I can see how people could potentially enjoy it and like it. I think it makes it easier for the developers to try and make very big, chunky, blobby characters and get away with it, and focus their attention on other parts of the game. But I really wish they just focused the attention on making the controls less laggy, because then it would make for a better experience overall. I think my problem with Smoots Summer Games 2 is less around the fact that this game isn't terrible, or the fact that it's just pure mediocre across the board. It's that games have been doing this better for like 20, 30 years, and I'd really hoped that if we was going to hone in on something where button mashing and timing and precision of buttons were going to be key, that the one thing that would be focused on and solved would be that input lag and making a local multiplayer experience feel less woolly and fuzzy. And I feel like we've kind of drifted away from precision in these games far too much, and we need to get back to it again to make these games the true competitive experience that I know they can be. So this isn't going to be a recommendation from me, and I'd probably recommend Tokyo 2020, and if there's any of the Sonic and Mario games that you've not already got for the Nintendo, that have come out over the recent decade as better experiences than this one by far, and even going back through time, like Olympic Gold on the PlayStation. Olympic Gold on the Mega Drive and Master System still plays better than this, and that's a shame. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.